Morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. I have notes, and as usual, I have gotten distracted in between taking the notes and sitting down to actually do the video. So I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. Min is sitting here with me, as you may be able to tell from the wobbling. I'm hoping that she's gonna settle down here. She was sitting very still, which is why I started recording. And then, of course, as soon as I started recording, she started moving around. So she has settled for the moment. Hopefully that remains. Okay. Notes. I don't know how this is gonna go. So, Phoebe, I enjoyed the name shape situation again. It did make a nice little flag. You're right. I enjoy this sort of thing we have going now. I did when you were talking about your notebook with the picture that you took on the cover. Excuse me, madam. I feel like I remember you making that. Maybe I might be remembering that. I have this vague memory. The only reason I remember this is I have a vague memory of you saying something about a picture that you took of Cinderella's castle. Is it Cinderella's castle? I've forgotten now. That was several minutes ago. But I remember you saying something about it and then using that picture to have something else made, and I assume that it is the notebook, unless you have something else that you had made with that. So yes, I that's neat. I think that's a very neat thing. Lizards. I am sorry about the lizards. We don't really have a lot of lizards where I live, but at the college for some reason, which is not like a whole separate ecosystem or anything. I don't know why there are lizards there, not really anywhere else, but for some reason at the college there were a lot of lizards. I assume everywhere, but you only saw them up at the Fine Arts building, I think because of the way that it was shaped, because it was on the hill. It was like a split level building, and it had on the top level in the back where it was up against the hill, there was sort of a terrace situation, and there were always these little tiny lizards out there. They were just little bitty ones. They were very cute, and that is what I think of whenever anybody says lizards, and I don't really know why that particular thing is what I think of when I think of lizards, but it is. Oh, you were talking about the textbook, about it being weird that I remember the name of the textbook. It is kind of weird, but the only reason that I remember that particular textbook is because it's not really it's not a college textbook. That's not what it was intended for. The woman who wrote it, whose name I forgot to look up, and I still do not remember. Betty Edwards, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, she wrote it. I think it's meant to be just like a drawing book that anyone can pick up and read, not necessarily like a classroom textbook. And I actually ended up reading it before the term even started, because I had gotten my textbooks a little bit early, and it just looked sort of interesting, so I started reading it, and I just ended up reading the whole thing. It's got exercises and stuff in it, and of course I did not do any of the exercises until we actually got to class, because who does the actual exercises when they're supposed to? That's silly. But I just read it through because it was an interesting book. So that's why I remember it. I think because it's not like a regular textbook. I don't remember any of my actual textbooks at all. I don't even know I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about any of my regular textbooks. I only even remember very vaguely what a couple of them looked like, and only because they were unusual looking in some way. You have my sympathies about the glasses. my glasses, I mean, I have a pair of glasses. I never wear them because, like, why would I wear them in the house? They're for, like, everything that I look at in the house is up close, so, like, I don't need to wear the glasses because everything's, like, right here. But, like, I do have a pair of glasses, which you may remember I had out part of the time while we were, at the garden thingy when we met up. But when I first got them, they gave me terrible vertigo, and like I would put them on and I would immediately get the spins. I couldn't wear them in the car or anything. Like, even though I was just a passenger, like I couldn't wear them in the car, or like I could not wear them while I was walking because they would give me such like motion sickness. And so it would have taken less time if I'd worn them more and gotten used to them more quickly. But I didn't wear them that often because I don't wear my glasses very often anyway. So it took like probably at least a year before I could put them on without like getting the spins immediately. So yeah, I my sympathies to you. I hope that you can get the glasses situation resolved, because that's not really fun. Like, it's not an enjoyable way to go through life. You're talking about getting headaches from your hair. Like, yes, indeed. My hair is not like that thick. I've never really had like super thick hair anyway, but like it's less thick now because because my health stuff. But like I never really had like thick hair, but what I did have was really long hair. Like, my hair used to be, I would say, about halfway to my knee. Like not halfway up my whole body, but like between my hip and my knee, like that halfway. It was a little past hip length. And it pulled on my head so much that I basically just had terrible tension headaches, just like all the time. Like, to the point that I didn't realize how bad it was until I cut my hair, and I cut it about like mid back length, and like an incredible percentage of my headaches went away. It was amazing. So yeah, it's a real problem. Hair is a problem in lots of ways. I need to do something with my hair very badly, because it is just, and also I'm just really tired of it. Like, I have had the same hair, which is just, basically how it grows, like since middle school probably. Like, other than, here a few years ago when I chopped it all off, like completely whacked it off. Other than that, like, my hair's been like this since, I don't know, since I was like 12 or something. So yeah, I'm very bored with it, but also I don't know what else to do with it. You were talking about like fandom and like fanfic and stuff. I don't think I really belong to any fandoms anymore. Like, part of that is just because it feels to me like it takes a lot of effort to be involved in a fandom. Like, it requires you to be able to focus and to like bend your will towards the thing, and I just don't have that much energy anymore. So like I feel like I no longer have the energy to be involved in a fandom. It just is too exhausting. So I really don't I don't know. I don't really have any fandoms anymore. And like I do. Can you please not? Thank you. Like you're talking about fanfic and stuff, and like I do every once in a while, like I do think I should maybe like sometimes I will watch a show or something and I will think, I wish there were more stories in this universe. Hence fan fiction. Like that is the whole point of fan fiction, right? Like, but the problem, one of the problems that I find with fan fiction is that I don't always necessarily want just, like, I don't necessarily want stuff that diverges from canon, and that is what a lot of, like, fan fiction is, like, which is fine, but, like, sometimes that's not, like, what I'm in the mood for. I just want more stories, like, in the canon universe, right? And that is not something that shows up a lot. And also sometimes with books particularly, I find that it's the author's voice that I'm really wanting. And so then when I, like, if I try to find something that's you know, like fan fiction of some series or some book or something that I've read, like when I go there and read fan fiction, because it's written by people who are not the author, whose voice is not necessarily the same as the author, then it doesn't really, like, do what I'm wanting. It doesn't do the thing that I'm looking for. So that's a problem. Basically, I'm just not very good at the whole, like, fan fiction thing, I think. The whole fandom experience I'm bad at is my problem, I think, really. I want to be good at it, and I am just not. I think that is my issue. I have written alarms on here, and I don't know why. I remember what you were saying about alarms, but I don't remember what I was going to reply about alarms. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to agree with you, like, though, about, you know, putting a lot of alarms for things, just because, like, it might not be something that seems like a big enough thing to set an alarm for, but yet you need it. So, like, that's what you do. I have alarms for, like, everything, every ridiculous thing. Like, I don't necessarily set alarms on my phone for stuff, but I said before, I set timers constantly. Like, I'm just constantly setting new timers. I would set alarms more often if I had, like, specific things that I was doing at a specific time, but I don't do that much, so, like, mostly I'm just setting timers. Oh, congratulations on your baseball game, by the way. I hope that you have a good time. You were talking about, like, going to the movies and stuff by yourself, and I like I said before, I think that is a really, like, neat thing to do. I don't really ever go to stuff like that by myself. Like, you know, even in the before times when you could go in public places. Even in my personal before times where, like now I can't really go in public places because I'm allergic to everything. Like, I could not possibly go to the movies, for instance, because movies are full of corn. But, like, even in the before times when I could do stuff like that, I didn't really do stuff like that because, like, it was not really an opportunity that's available to me because I live in a rural area where, like, there are no movie theaters, for instance. You have to travel to get to a movie theater. Or, you know, there are no, like, restaurants here. You can't, you know, go have brunch by yourself because, like, there's no place to do that. So, you know, living in the middle of nowhere kind of puts a cap on what kind of experiences you can have, you know, going and doing stuff by yourself. But I think that if I had more opportunity to go do things like that by myself, I would have. I still think very fondly of, like, one time I was about, I don't know, I would have been in my early 20s, and I went to stay with a friend of mine for a few days, and she, like, couldn't take time off of work or anything, so what would happen is, like, she would leave for work in the morning, and then I would just kind of hang out at her apartment by myself until she got home from work, and it was fine. Like, it was, you know, not a problem for me, because, like, I'm fine being alone. But for some reason that I cannot remember, one day specifically, I walked a ways, and there was like a little restaurant there, and I went down and had breakfast by myself. And I still think very fondly of that experience. Like, I had like a nice little walk to and from the restaurant. I had breakfast by myself. I took a book, I think. I can't remember now. Either I took a book with me, or I took my journal with me and wrote in my journal while I was waiting for my breakfast to arrive. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Not important. Anyway, it was fun. I had a nice time. I think often, like, that would be a nice thing to do again, but again, I'm allergic to everything, so, But yeah, I mean, I think it's like a fun thing to do. And also, like, as you say, it is a skill. Like, being alone, being able to be alone and do stuff by yourself is a skill that like, some people don't have, and you can cultivate it. And it is, like, I think a worthwhile thing to cultivate, because, like, sometimes you just are by yourself. Like, it's just a thing that happens occasionally. So, it's good. It gives you, like, some versatility. Min keeps moving around, and I feel like we're due for a really big one here in a minute. Here, she's gonna, like, have some kind of massive shaking thing that's gonna happen. I'm just trying to get very, like, paranoid. So I've been talking for like 17 minutes. I should probably stop. Maybe we can get out of this before we have a catastrophic. Aha! I made a pun. Wobbling situation. So, okay, I don't remember the other thing that I was going to say. See, like, you were talking about how, like, you have stuff that you're going to say, but you don't write it down because you just write down, like, your notes from the video. I do that all the time, and it's a problem. So, okay, I am done, I guess. This is not quite as long as my last video, but getting there. I feel very impressed with myself, though, that I have now cultivated this ability to do this, because I did not used to be able to, like, normally when I would try to make a video like this, it would end up with there just being these huge gaps where I would be trying to, like, think through in my head what I was going to say next, and there would just be these really long silences that I would have to end up going through and cutting out. And since I stopped editing my videos, like, now I just have to talk my way through it, and it took me a while, but now I can do it, for better or for worse. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's a thing. So, okay. I've now talked for like an extra minute. Useful. So, okay. I love you all very much. I will see you next week. I hope you're all, having a good one. Don't forget to be awesome.